Hello and welcome to Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. In the district, Ousted Ward 8 council member Trayon White reclaims his seat. White won in the special election with 29% of the vote. Now, voter turnout was low with just 12% cast in the ballot. The special election was triggered by White's expulsion. The council unanimously voting to remove him in February after finding he broke city ethics rules. White was arrested last year and is currently awaiting trial on a federal bribery charge. Now, while council does have the power to expel him again, one political expert tells us that it will likely not happen. White is set to face trial in January, and he plans to fight that. He also tells DC News Now that he intends to meet with each council member one-on-one moving forward. And joining us now is Robinson Woodward-Burns, a political science professor at Howard University. Professor, welcome back to Capitol Review.
Thank you for having me.
We're always glad to have you. Trayon White, former councilman-elect. There's a lot of layers here. Your reaction on him winning the special election after being expelled by council?
Thanks for the question. This is an unusual circumstance. While the council does have the authority to expel members, including for ethics violations, this is what had happened several months ago. White was able to stand for re-election in a special election and win, albeit very narrowly, in a field of 4 candidates. This puts the council in a somewhat odd position in that it will have to have seated in its body a member it had expelled only a few months ago. It is worth noting that hanging over all of this is a federal trial in which the councilman faces allegations of accepting bribery, faces bribery allegations, accepting cash bribes. If found guilty of those charges, he would be ineligible to sit on the council.
Does this mean, although, like you said, it was a close election, 4 candidates, maybe surprisingly close, does it send a message to council that the people have spoken again?
It does not. There are 86,000 residents in Ward 8, which Councilman White represents. He received the votes of 2,100 of them, or a little less than 3% of his constituents. The vote was almost exactly divided between all 4 candidates, such that he only received a few hundred more votes than the second place candidate, third place candidate, and even the fourth place candidate. This was a toss-up election. Because he looked vulnerable, 3 candidates stood against him such that there was no organized opposition. Had only 2 candidates or 1 candidate stood against him, he likely would have lost. Over 80% of voters in this election voted to kick him out.
The fact that the voter turnout, those that you talked about, does that suggest that there was not that much voter interest? I mean, obviously it was a special election, and usually when there's a general election with the presidential, with the White House up for grabs, that's when we have the biggest turnout. But what do those numbers tell you as far as turnout? What does that say to you?
Yeah, you're right to note that special elections generally have lower turnout compared to general elections. In general elections, when there are federal elections, especially presidential elections, voters are exposed to a lot of information about candidates and are more likely to turn out. Now, the district does send mail-in ballots, about 40,000 mail-in ballots to voters within Ward 8, and just over 10% of those ballots were returned. So even though there, was an effort by the district to make voting more accessible within Ward 8, there just wasn't a lot of voter interest around this special election. And this is fairly similar to the election in which Councilmember White first won election 10 years ago. Again, that was a relatively low turnout election. So it's not unusual to see in special elections relatively high levels of voter disengagement and relatively low levels of turnout like this.
As far as public perception, is it an apples to oranges comparison between President Trump and Councilman-elect White? Do you see a comparison?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Donald Trump was able to evade or avoid state-level charges being brought against him and also federal charges by winning re-election to the presidency. The difference is that Councilman White will not be able to avoid federal charges. There's an ongoing federal case which will be brought to trial next year. and either resolved next year or the following, the government likely would not have brought charges against him had they not thought that they had a strong case. He is on camera holding a bag of cash of about $30,000. It is likely that he will be found guilty, or it's plausible that he would be found guilty on at least some charges such that he would be ineligible to serve. And in that sense, he, unlike Donald Trump, will not likely be able to avoid a guilty verdict for these federal charges.
Professor Robinson Woodward-Burns, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.